The Anomalous Artifacts Agency, or AAA as it is better known, is purely a work of fiction. There is not, never was, and never will be such an organization in the world because there is really no such thing as anomalous artifacts, anomalous organisms, anomalous persons, or anomalous forces. At least, as far as I know, anyway. The AAA is a creation of mine, Terry Polino, better known to all of you as Natural Juan. All rights reserved. I'm doing this because I'm worried some of you might get the idea that this stuff might actually be real, like what happened with Slender Man, and do horrible things in real life with my work as an excuse. TLDR. This is all just an elaborate joke. None of it is real. I will be very disappointed if some of you actually believe this. The following information was taken from the personal notes of one Agent Aleph M13 of the Anomalous Artifacts Agency and is deemed top secret by its constituents. Luck is something that is sought after by just about everyone, though there's no real way to quantify it. It is a form of randomness or chaos, though one that is, for lack of a better term, a much more positive version of it. In a lot of situations, luck is all you really need to succeed, but it is not something you can rely on. Today, we will discuss an anomalous person who seems to have luck on their side. Meet AP Sigma 777, otherwise known as Chance, a relatively new member of the Insurmountables from the Philippines. Now, without further ado, let's cast those lots and see what we can find out about this guy. Anomalous person Sigma 777, also known as Chance, the lucky guy, maintenance man, the janitor, Iggy, Iggs. Power Class 15. Operational Designation Blue. Place of Origin Baguio City, Philippines. History. While considered one of our greatest allies, the Insurmountables never share everything with us. They have assisted us time and time again to locate and contain anomalous matter that has been deemed too dangerous to allow to remain at large. That said, there are bits of information that they never provide us even when requested to do so. Such is the case with AP Sigma 777, better known to his fellow Insurmountables and the rest of the world as Chance. He is one of 3 Filipinos who recently joined the Insurmountables, and while still in the beginning of his career as an Insurmountable, the results he's been coming up with have been so far impressive. When asked though, AP Sigma 777 insists that most, if not all of his successes are due to luck, random chance, or, from his own words, divine intervention. What scant amount of information can be found about AP Sigma 77's past can be summed up as follows. Born Ignacio Iggy Yago on Baguio City, Philippines, AP Sigma 777 was orphaned at a young age. The whereabouts of his parents are unknown, although they are presumed dead on public records. Of course, we know that AP Sigma 777 was raised by his grandmother, and he stayed with her until her untimely death. In public records state that his grandmother died of heart failure and perished while sleeping, though our own sources tell us something different. According to what we've found on both AP Sigma 777's grandmother's body and her career as an she may very well have died from. In any case, AP Sigma 777 would later find work as a janitor in Starside Hotel, Baguio City, which is owned by Jacob Koufax, grandson of Jonah Koufax, and current owner of Starside Hotel. This would prove to work well in AP Sigma 777's favor, as Anita Koufax, Jacob Koufax's Filipina wife, once was aided by AP Sigma 777's grandmother in the distant past. This was when AP Sigma 777's grandmother was in the height of her career as a. This was a mutual benefit for both parties, as, for the better part of a decade, Starside Hotel Baguio was plagued by stories of being haunted and infested with demons and all manner of evil spirits. There were even persistent rumors, which have been confirmed by our agents, that certain anomalous forces were involved, namely AF Theta 1 and. The arrival of AP Sigma 777 ended all that. In less than a month, Starside Hotel Baguio City, which was once even categorized as AA Psi 503, was cleansed of all negative energy. Again, AP Sigma 777 refused to take any credit for the incident, believing that his arrival there was just a coincidence, that everything that happened was the will of God, or so he states. Still, it is without doubt that his arrival in the area caused a significant improvement in terms of cleansing the area of dark influences. Another significant achievement of AP Sigma 777 was how he single-handedly took down the criminal organization Berdeng Diablo, or Green Devils, which also worked as a kind of cult. This is another incident that he denies taking any credit for, believing that such an evil group was bound to be destroyed by the justice of God sooner or later. Unfortunately, this has not worked well for him, as the governor of the region took credit for the event, even though the latter is well known for being corrupt and manipulative. AP Sigma 777 has also had numerous brushes with other anomalous matter that could be deemed dangerous, such as AF Theta 8, AF Iota 97, and AO Epsilon 65. One such encounter involved AP Sigma 777 having disbanded a small but growing cult dedicated to AP Theta 1-17. This was one encounter that AP Sigma 777 does take credit for, but wishes that never really happened due to the large number of human casualties that was involved. Description: getting an exact and distinguishable description of AP Sigma 777 is extremely difficult, as, by his own admission, he is largely a nondescript looking individual. There is little to nothing that makes him appear at all different from your average man. While undeniably Filipino, his features make it easy for other people to mistake him for another ethnicity, from Hispanic, Asian, Native American, sometimes even black, and, with a bit of makeup, even white. He wears drab and fairly common civilian attire, such as a simple t-shirt and pants. In hotter weather in the Philippines, he might pair a tank top with long shorts. While working, he dons the uniform of Starside Hotel's maintenance staff, and might wear a face mask and protective goggles when handling dangerous chemicals and other potentially hazardous materials. When working as an insurmountable, he wears military pants with lots of pockets, a hooded jacket with lots of pockets, and a vest with, again, lots of pockets in basic colors like gray, green, or tan. Anomalous traits. AP Sigma 777 might seem like your average Filipino, but he has probably the most powerful anomalous traits we've discovered so far. He seems to have the very concept of probability on his side. This has been extremely difficult to even just confirm, but with so many incidents that seem to just resolve themselves around him, it becomes harder and harder to deny that it may indeed be something anomalous. He has been on the receiving end of automatic weapons fire on innumerable occasions, but there were always circumstances that prevented him from being seriously hurt. Examples include a truck suddenly passing by to block the incoming bullets, the wind suddenly picking up to gale force and causing the ammunition to veer wildly off course, and for all the weapons of the assailants to simultaneously jam. AP Sigma 777 has once fallen from the roof of an apartment building which towered well over 30 floors, only to land harmlessly on the ground with only a few bruises and cuts to worry about, thanks to a combination of strong wind and various relatively harmless objects softening his fall. He has also shown his immense luck in chance-based games. He avoids places of gambling, as he knows well that he will only bankrupt such places, even if he doesn't know the rules of said games. It is notable that he once walked away from a bingo table with a small fortune, which he quickly returned when he remembered most of the other players were old women. There has even been an incident when he bought a ticket from the lottery and it has been observed, however, that his probability-altering traits do not apply to non-gambling games, such as Monopoly, or various other tabletop games including role-playing games and war games. There is even a lengthy research report of AAA researchers observing how AP Sigma 777 plays various tabletop games with other AAA agents and fellow Insurmountables. AP Sigma 777 is far from being wealthy and only earns a meager salary as a janitor at the Starside Hotel. However, he is often able to find various tools, items, weapons, and money when the need arises in a given situation. An instance of this occurred when AP Sigma 777 was forced to face the Green Devils gang, in which he was able to find a fully loaded semi-automatic pistol that one of the gang members left lying around. Of course, one could surmise that the said gang member was just careless, but it was the one advantage AP Sigma 777 needed to defeat them once and for all. Another incident would be when a child on the verge of death with a terminal disease was saved when AP Sigma 777 somehow managed to find a large sum of money while walking to work one day. Based on the state the money was in, it likely came from a drug deal gone wrong, though it was still able to help out an innocent in the end. In various situations, whether being trapped by a dangerous cult or facing an eldritch horror, AP Sigma 777 is able to find various things that can prove to be helpful to him and whoever is accompanying him at the moment, from finding wrenches that can break locks when placed in a prison cell to plastic explosives when needing to destroy a world-ending weapon. AP Sigma 777 somehow always finds useful tools in least expected places. This also easily translates to him being easily able to find missing items people might have. It has been shown and proven that by not returning a found item somewhat diminishes his anomalous traits, if they can indeed be called that. While he mostly prefers to keep to himself, AP Sigma 777 is a surprisingly well-connected individual. He is often able to easily meet and befriend people that can be very helpful in his endeavors. This includes everyone, from random taxi drivers who appear in the most unlikely of places to offer him a free ride to wealthy tycoons willing to lend him money on short notice. That said, he almost never tries to take advantage of people who offer him generosity and will almost always repay them as soon as he can, leading him to even more encounters with the extraordinary. Another thing to note, though AP Sigma 777 remains largely unaware of this, is his luck with potential romantic partners. The Insurmountables is known for having conventionally attractive members, and some of those have taken a strong interest in AP Sigma 777. While these members will likely deny it if asked, Insurmountable members who are thought to have a stronger than normal liking for AP Sigma 777 are AP Sigma 357, aka Dazzler, the British Magus, AP Sigma 903, aka Shiro Kage, the Japanese assassin, AP Sigma 641, Hei Yoling, the Chinese vigilante, AP Sigma 143, aka Meme, the French actress, AP Sigma 664, aka Waffenhex, or the Gun Witch from Germany, and AP Sigma 287, aka Chongguja, the Korean athlete, among many others. Sadly, AP Sigma 777 remains largely unaware of their hidden feelings and thinks nothing of the affection said women have displayed toward him on numerous occasions, believing them to just be acts of kindness. He remains respectful, helpful, and reliable towards the aforementioned of the Insurmountables, but it is no more than how he treats every other Insurmountable in the organization. Unfortunately, it should be noted that AP Sigma has, for a lack of better terms, really bad taste and poor judgment of character for women. A vast majority of women he seems to have fallen for, or at least taken a strong interest in, are not just conventionally unattractive, but are also of very poor, toxic, or outright disturbing character. These include AP Omega 054, aka Bug Queen, AP Omega 896, aka Highway Woman, the Car Thief, AF Epsilon 518, aka Baba Yaga, the legendary Russian hag, the female serial killer known as the Crimson Owl, the aging Filipina actress Esmeralda Naano, and there is also the case of another anomalous person in AP Sigma 777's childhood that he remembers fondly, though he has no idea where she is now or what happened to her. Agents of the AAA believe that this last is actually another anomalous person that has been deemed quite dangerous to the world at large. This woman has been designated and her real name is and she has last been seen in AP Sigma 777's anomalous traits are also known to affect some of the other Insurmountables. Agents of the AAA and various other individuals if they go on a mission with him. Of course, again, due to the nature of his abilities, a lot of what occurs can be chalked up to random chance. That said, the many victories the Insurmountables and others have achieved against overwhelming or sometimes even impossible odds with AP Sigma 777 fighting alongside them cannot be denied. It comes as no surprise then that many Insurmountables, AAA agents, goshawks, boas, chittens, wasps, steeds, and various other factions want AP Sigma 777 on their team, even if the latter doesn't even really understand what's going on, let alone what to do. It is largely unknown where AP Sigma 777's powers come from, or even if they're anomalous at all, as even AP Sigma 777 vehemently denies that there is anything supernatural about him at all. This despite multiple successes he's made over various challenges he's been forced to face on numerous occasions. When forced, AP Sigma 777 insists that it is just divine intervention or God's will, though even he admits that it may be more than that in some occasions. AP Sigma 777 speculates that his successes and good fortune are more due to his old metal rosary that he inherited from his grandmother. This is perhaps one of the few belongings his grandmother had left before she died. It has indeed been observed that praying the rosary does provide AP Sigma 777 with positive results, though he has been known to overcome challenges even using another rosary or not praying it at all. The AAA, however, has observed one thing about AP Sigma 777's anomalous traits, and that is they only take effect when the latter makes choices or engages in actions that can be deemed beneficial to humanity or complies to conventional ethics. This means that as long as AP Sigma 777's activities can be considered righteous in the conventional meaning of the term, his anomalous traits will continue to aid him or anyone else who may join his cause. This has been proven to be true when a number of inscrutable anomalous persons captured AP Sigma 777 for their own goals, which only resulted in their plans not only failing in the most spectacular way, but also ended in all of them being arrested and detained by local police. While it is poorly understood, even by AP Sigma 777 himself, he also seems to have a form of prescience. He seems to experience visions of the future while sleeping, which he often mistakes for dreams. Of course, he also straight up says that he can't really tell these so-called visions from actual dreams, making them largely unreliable. Still, these visions have time and time again proven useful in giving him and the Insurmountables an idea of what could happen and prevent disasters from taking their full detrimental effects on the world at large. To this day, AP Sigma 777 remains one of the most sought-after members of the Insurmountables, as his presence has been known to turn the tide of losing battles. This has been known to take effect even when the allies he has arrived to help are almost completely routed. This only further enforces the possibility of AP Sigma 777's having anomalous traits. Personality. AP Sigma 777, while indeed one of the more popular members of the Insurmountables, despite being only recently introduced to the organization, remains humble and in deep denial of his capabilities and achievements. He chalks up just about all of his successes to what he believes to be God's will, and he does what he does simply because it is the right thing to do. While he is ultimately aware that most of the tasks given to him as an Insurmountable are of the utmost importance and takes them very, very seriously, he almost never takes credit for any of them. Also, while he may seem just like another lowly janitor in Starside Hotel Baguio, it is noted that he is respected by every other staff member due to what he had done to purge the establishment of evil spirits before. Another thing to note would be how Jacob and Anita Koufax prized the young man as their most valued employee, since he not only saved their most favorite establishment, but possibly their marriage. It is almost to the point that some in Starside Hotel consider AP Sigma 777 a prince of sorts, since the Koufaxes are childless and have no heir to their vast international fortune. That said, much like many of the attractive women he tends to overlook, AP Sigma 777 is almost completely unaware of the Koufax's favor for him. Much of the comforts and kindnesses they provide him are what he believes to be just evidence of their benevolence, and accepts it and thanks them profusely for it. Still, he believes himself to be just another employee in a business full of them, and works to the best of his abilities to maintain the facilities and accommodations of Starside Hotel. It should be noted that fairly recently, AP Sigma 777 has been tasked by the Council of Three of the Insurmountables, namely AP Sigma 765 of the USA, aka Acme, AP Sigma 890 of Russia, aka Nova, and AP Sigma 117, aka Zhang Wo, to journal his missions. This is likely because of his survivability and the fact that he is easily able to see events taking place without being noticed first. While certainly reluctant, he has long accepted the role of being a chronicler of sorts to the Insurmountables since, by his own admission, he has very little to contribute since he has no apparent powers or advantages to speak of compared to the rest of the Insurmountables. Countermeasures. Due to the ambiguous nature of AP Sigma 777's anomalous traits, if indeed they are anomalous traits, it is almost impossible to counter them. That said, there is really nothing that differentiates AP Sigma 777 from your average human being. It has been proven, time and time again, that he can be seriously injured and possibly killed like anyone else through mundane means. As noted above regarding his anomalous traits, keeping a lost item that is owned by an otherwise righteous and law-abiding individual can lead him to serious trouble. This is why he goes out of his way to return anything anyone has lost to their rightful owners as soon as he can. Should he fail to do so, probability will not just stop aiding him in further situations, but might actively work against him. That said, it should be noted that the time that AP Sigma 777 has been in serious trouble is when he engaged in acts that are unrighteous or selfish in nature. This is often seen when he strikes out on his own and disregards the safety and well-being of others. When he began to engage in unnecessary violence in a fit of rage against a member of a criminal organization, a henchman of the crime lord was able to successfully shoot and severely injure him. Also, in a bid to learn more about the fate of his parents, AP Sigma 777's powers failed almost completely and even backfired when he joined a cult whose leader promised him that he would tell him what information he had about his deceased parents.